says, how to stop your puppy from pulling hard on a walk. This is such a loaded question.
And also age plays a big role in this one too.
Age plays a huge role. So we'll give you the thorough version for puppies under 16, 18 weeks of age, and then a really quick general version for anything older than that. The younger version, I would say you walk your puppy in the house first. You get your puppy to work for all of their meals. If your puppy isn't doing something simple like place and come for their food on leash in the house, you're definitely not going to get any attention from them outside. So, go on YouTube, find 5 things to teach a puppy and work them on leash for their food for a few days. Then do it in the backyard, in the hallway of your apartment building, in the courtyard, in the front yard, a few houses, just that's it. You're just doing turns. You're just working your puppy. Now, I do understand that some puppies are crazy and they pull really hard and they tug really hard, and we do give a tug of the leash, but then we redirect with food right away. So if you don't have the foundation of all of this repetition with your puppy, with working for their food, that won't work, and them pulling and you tugging will just frustrate them, and that doesn't work. So it's foundation first, and then you try to use that out on the walk.
We're trying to build a work drive.
Yeah.
It can't just be affection all the time, because then puppies learn to not respect the affection. Mm-hmm. They need to earn it. They need to earn pretty much everything from a young age. Food, treats, affection, because then that work drive increases. And instead of them expecting the affection, they expect to work for it. So even something as simple as what Bethany just said, working in the house, the backyard, the front yard, doing all those commands, don't just teach your puppy commands. It teaches them to want to work for you to earn that reward, whether it's treats, food, or affection.
And it's very transactional. It's very business transactional. You did a good job. Here's a piece of food. Good, let's go. It's not soft and
Take
emotional.
Out the
But people love that.
I know. That's for after training.
But you got to take that out. And just to kind of jump on what he said about the affection, because this goes for everybody. If you've ever heard of trainers say, work your puppy for affection, that only works if you are really diligent in making your affection a reward, which means you never give affection freely just for your puppy being cute. You don't carry them around. Instead, you teach them to follow you everywhere. That type of training is very holistic. It's very true to the nature of what is a dog, but in order to train your puppy with affection being a reward, in our experience, I'm not trying to be mean, but in our experience, it doesn't work for a lot of the clients we come across. Might not even work for me and the next puppy I get, because let's face it, we hold our puppies too much. We take too many photos of our puppies and go, "Aw, click, 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 click." I have hundreds of photos of puppies and dogs on my phone. They're not even mine. And so because of that, because of all the softness we share with our animals and we bring them into our house, our affection is just not that valuable. Now, Sparky and I constantly try to help clients make their affection more valuable, but because of that, I don't think we would ever train a puppy just on affection only. You want to use food, make it clean, make it a business transaction, and that's what's really going to get you where you want to go. It's not that training with affection is bad. It's just, I don't know if our culture right now, I don't think it works with many people.
It doesn't, and I know that there are some people out there whose dogs don't take food, they don't take
That's
rewards.
True.
And if you are going to use the affection, it comes down to, dog, come, good. And then you're neutral again, and you're back to work mode. So if you can take that polar opposite spectrum and be like super happy and then neutral, then you might actually be able to use it. But Bethany said something that was really important. The holistic approach, what she means by that is someone that's super calm, super mellow, doesn't give a ton of affection.
Doesn't pick up their puppy.
Yes,
doesn't pick up their puppy, teaches them how to be a dog on the floor right away.
100%. Your dog wants to earn that affection, and when you give it, they're like, who is this?
They're like, yes, thank you. That's a very natural way to work with an animal, where what you say and how you interact with them is very valuable, but unfortunately we've desensitized a lot of that, so we're using other tools like food, like a leash and things like that to try to get that. So just keep that in mind, is Look at your structure at home as well. You may think that that has nothing to do with the walk, but it does. If your puppy has a ton of freedom in the home, then they're never going to listen to you on a walk. So your structure in the house, your puppy comes out, they get playtime, they go back in their playpen or crate. You know, having that relationship with your puppy, that you're interacting with them when they come out most of the time, is really important too, not just free roaming through the house. Absolutely. And then anything older, what would you say? I mean, honestly, I would get some one-on-one help.
One-on-one help, but if you want a technique until the interim of getting an actual trainer, is you want to have your leash on harness, not on the collar, because a puppy that's pulling hard on that collar could do some damage on the trachea. And then whenever they pull in a direction, try to create pressure slightly to the side, almost like diagonal. You don't want it going down their spine. And when they start even kind of just looking back at this force holding them back, good. Show them food, step backwards and guide them to you. Give them a treat. They're going to go right back to pulling though, guys. And that's normal, but it gives you that leverage for a couple seconds, and it also gives you more value. In challenging situations, it probably won't work. But we're talking backyard, front yard with maybe a squirrel that they got a glance of running across the yard, or maybe just your significant other coming home and them kind of seeing them, calling them away from that person a few times just for some easy food work.
Practicing. You got to practice when you can control the environment as much as possible. But when you start to get over 18 weeks old, especially if it's a large breed dog, you're looking at one-on-one help and training tools. But you can't go to training tools until you put in the foundational work, until you've put in a few weeks of your puppy understanding what it is their job is to do. And like, for instance, we just had a 6-month-old that we layered training tools on, and he's had weeks of foundation. He already knew why he was there. All we were doing was layering on a little bit of accountability on top of it, because now our food doesn't mean anything compared to the squirrel. But he has the foundation. So when he gets a no, he knows to turn and look at his human and be like, well, what? Sit? Oh, good. All right. I already know all this. So it's really about that foundation first, and then you layer on everything else with the accountability with the older puppies. So
we're trying to create an understanding. In order for an understanding to form, context needs to be there. That's what training, and that's where all your commands do.
Do that one.
All right, I'm getting my puppy home tomorrow. Any first few steps? Woo, that's exciting. So step one
is DM us, so we can give you a little puppy schedule, structure idea.
DM us first structure schedule.
I know, also, I messed up your flow.
I know, I was into it, guys. Come on, I was about to explode.
It looked like
so crate, playpen, some kind of dog bed. I mean, you could find online a little checklist of things to grab. Just get a good chew toy that you can monitor them with, and have your setup already made before they come in. The worst thing you do is have a puppy and then be like, I should have got a crate. I should have got a playpen. You got 2 more days. Pick up all your stuff. You can go on Amazon, probably get it by tomorrow. Go to your local pet store, get everything by today. Totally up to you guys. And then start putting everything together. I mean, have a playpen. Have a crate in your bedroom.
Have a schedule. Have the whole family knows what the schedule is going to be, knows when the potty breaks are going to be, and then if there's an accident, you adjust. Like, you just have all that lined out with the whole family now.
Watch all of our previous videos.
Watch all of our previous videos. That was good. And the big thing is, if your puppy is shy, let him ease in for a few days. Don't just hold him for a few days. We literally last week had a question that our puppy was so calm the first couple of days, and we loved it, and now he's crazy, and that's probably because they were like this for the 2 quiet days. But if your puppy needs to settle in, give the dog its space. So let it go to crate right away. They're doing crate. Let it go to crate, settle down, and then when it's ready to really move and looking at you guys and wanting to do stuff, don't hesitate. I mean, targeting work, they don't know what the words mean yet, but doing lure with food can happen day 1 and 2.
Lure is treat to the nose and guiding them to a target, like wherever. A bed or a crate or wherever it is.
Sit down, come. I mean, you're starting to do all of your basics right away.
Puppies' first sense, even at a young age, 8 weeks old, 10 weeks old, is their sense of smell. So you glue a treat to that schnoz, and they're going to be following it.
Yeah, or food. Try to just work for kibble first. Use treats if you can. Yeah, use treats if you have to.
If they want a link to supplies we recommend, they can go to the link in our Instagram bio, scroll down to our Amazon store, and they can shop for all of our recommended products.
We have a link.
I hope you guys caught all that.
We have a link in our we have a link in our bio on Instagram, and it has a link to an Amazon list of supplies and all kinds of goodies.
At the bottom of the page.
At the bottom of the page. Just keep scrolling and you'll see it.
If you don't, send us a DM, we'll send it to you.
Yeah, and if you struggle, you can just private message. Oh, excuse me. DM us, and I have to get the proper lingo, and we'll send you the info. Okay. Do you want to do this one?
How do you get your puppy to not swim in the water dish? Pick it up.
Just stop that.
That's it. Set the bowl down, give them some time to drink the water,
And remove it.
and just move it up.
Puppies, like, I love it when puppies do this because I'm like, ooh, maybe they'll be good in a pool. But it's a pain. Like, when we get puppies in and we give them the dish and they immediately just make it go everywhere, it's not fun. But you learn that about your puppy and you're like, okay, you can't be a puppy that has free access to water.
Most puppies also can't mitigate the amount of water that they drink.
That's true.
So they just profusely drink water. If you have a young puppy that's having a ton of accidents, you got a bowl down on the ground, that could be why as well. So pop up that bowl, set it aside, maybe set a little timer on your phone on silent. You don't want something vibrating that's giving them an alert.
That's
that
true.
You see it on your phone, you're like, all right. And then you give it back to them. Let them drink a little bit more water, take it up again.
Yeah.
It also gives value to the bowl, not just for the water, but for your food and your meals as well. So anytime you take that bowl up, I know I'm getting
Leverage.
down the rabbit hole.
It's good though. It builds leverage.
Yeah, so the next time you bring that food bowl down, they're like, whoa, this thing disappeared last time. I better eat it.
Yeah.
So they go for a little bit sooner.
We have a border collie right now driving me nuts because he'll eat his food and I can hear clink, 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 and he's playing with it. He doesn't get in trouble. I mean, he's just playing with the toy that he thinks I gave him. It's not a big deal. So he's the same with the water too. I even do the water pails that hook onto the side of crate and I still come in with it all looking crazy. So he doesn't get to have anything. He gets no fun at all. And that's just how it's going to be with some of the dogs, some of the puppies out there. But again, that does tell me a little bit about his behavior, his intensity.
We got one more before we go over those.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure.
So last one on our paper is my 12-week-old golden doodle doesn't like being on a leash. Do you have any recommendations on how best to introduce his leash? And do you recommend using his collar or a harness for puppies?
Harness for puppies. And all the basics you've taught him, I'm going to assume he knows at least like sit and come. Put a leash on him, have him drag it around, do sit and come, then hold the leash, do sit and come. So apply the leash to whatever your puppy is good at, and then when you start teaching new stuff, the puppy's on leash inside. Look, we kind of already talked about this a little bit in the beginning. Not to just wave off your question. So-and-so, who are you?
We've even had some dogs that were really challenging that we'll just let them sit on their leash. Most time if you put it on a dog like that doesn't want to work on it, they kind of just freeze. Just let them freeze.
Yeah.
Just kind of let them hang out in your living room
Just
on
be
it.
patient.
And eventually they'll start moving. Good. Give it a treat.
The leash is so foreign to dogs. I mean, it doesn't come natural to them. In their brain, it holds them back from enjoying life like a natural animal should be able to. But obviously, we can't do that. So
Domesticated animals, a little bit different.
So we have to teach them how to be able to handle the leash. It's not easy. If people make it look easy, it's not easy. Okay. Megan says, how would I help my dog be less anxious? She's a 5-year-old golden retriever. So this isn't a puppy question. There's so much to go into here. I don't want to do it too much and get out of the puppy section, but I will say that leadership, structure, the same thing goes. The more you tell your dog to do when they potty, when they're allowed to sniff on the walk, when they're allowed to go to the front door to sniff the neighbor that comes by, not being allowed to bark at the mailman, when they can come out of crate or their room that they have quiet time in, the more structure you add, the more you tell your dog what to do, the less choices they have to make and the more calm they'll be. And then it also just happens to put you more in a leadership role. I would say that, and then I would say make sure you don't baby your dog And for
minimize affection.
Minimize affection, and that would be my short version. You have anything to add to that might be quick?
No, I think the affection's a big one. I think pulling back significantly on the amount of affection, almost like cold turkey even, and then as you find a rhythm, add in a little bit, see if you see improvement or an improvement, and then take it out if you see the bad stuff. Give a little bit more if you see the good stuff.
Yeah.
You got to find a schedule that works for you, and that just comes with trial and error. We can tell you a million things, but until you try it one thing at a time, that's where you see your difference.
Burks and Rocks says, what should I do when my dog starts going crazy on walks, tries to get out of his collar? He's 2 years old. I don't know. I'm trying to see your photo. I don't know what type of dog you have. That's also really helpful, guys, if we know the breed. I would say if your dog is over 12, 13, 14 pounds, no flat collar, and that would only flat collar we'd only ever do with a dog that's already been trained on regular stuff. But I would do a slip leash, and you just gotta mean it, and don't go. I don't know what you mean by going crazy. I'm gonna assume you mean barking at things around you. That's what I'm gonna assume. And so if the dog is already barking, you've lost your moment. You've lost it. You got to go after the fuse. Don't go after the explosion. If you've got the explosion, you got to get some one-on-one guidance to help you catch it earlier. But what we even do with puppies, except we're redirecting with food, but what we even do with puppies is we go after the fuse, which is arousal, which is alert ears.
And it takes a long time to learn what all of those fuses are.
Yeah.
Just look for the freeze. I think the freeze is probably the easiest possible one, because the minute they're like, good.
And ears is my favorite one. Ears.
Yeah,
ears forward.
Ears plays a role too.
I know that's hard with some huskies and German shepherds and stuff though, but that's what you're looking for.
The ears got like 30 motions though, so
yeah.
Just look for anything, and when you see one of those motions turn, be like, ooh,
what's going on?
What's that?
Yeah,
See
and intervene right away.
Mm-hmm.
So slip leash or another training tool, but you have to get a trainer to learn how to use that. And it's like, let's go. So or a no, or whatever it is you've been trying to do, you've got to interrupt the cycle early. Once your dog is reacting, you're too late. So you might need some one-on-one help for that. Another one that you can look for that's a big one with older dogs is you get panting. That moment where they go from relaxed and then they close their mouth and hone in, that's another one. That's another cue. Hackles up. There's a list of them.
And hackles doesn't mean aggression most of the time. It just means arousal in some way.
And it's fur. I forgot. Some people ask what hackles are.
Oh, hackles is
fur.
Like when the middle of their back, all that fur goes whoosh, looks like a little porcupine.
Yep.
That's just arousal. Sometimes it can be aggression, sometimes it could be fear, but arousal is the most common one.
Who's training Gemini?
I train Gemini.
Oh, is that the German Shepherd?
Yeah, we have a German Shepherd who's training Gemini.
Who's doing it right
this
now?
This guy right now.
No, you're not. You're on here right now. What's Gemini doing right now?
I think Gemini is probably sleeping in her crate right now. Until I get done with this, I'll be the one training her.
What should I do if my dog tries to get out of collar on walks? 2-year-old Chihuahua. For a Chihuahua harness or a training tool that doesn't put direct pressure around the neck. Please stop doing flat collar.
Again, guys, when they pull forward and that leash goes from up here to down here in the base of the neck, that's the weakest part of the trachea, and that's where you can cause some bruising and some damage to it. So it's just not worth it.
Elle, thank you for this comment. Ellie, the mini doxy. This is a really, really great question. Sorry, I'm laughing. Don't pick up your puppy in general or just for training. Since there's 3 question marks, I feel like there was a sense of urgency in this.
There's a little bit. I hope you're still on this call right now too.
So Ellie, I'll be honest. If you are taking a more holistic, natural approach to how a dog should be raised, the picking up the puppy is very minimal because it's not natural. So any picking up of the puppy would be very, very as minimal or just as little as possible because it's not natural. However, like I sasaid, in our culture right now,
that's a heart attack right now.
I know that's in our culture right now. That's not really a thing. But I will say you do need to be careful. Just you get what you pet. So if your puppy is nervous and you're coddling a puppy, you're praising nervousness. If you're a puppy and it's a dachshund, I think, and if it's like, I love you, and you don't want your puppy to jump up, but you pick your puppy up when they do that, that's what you're praising. And then it's mean to tell them they can't jump up, in my opinion. Right?
It's true. No, it's something that most people have no idea about. Oh, they jump on me so they're nervous, so I want to like comfort them. You're basically just telling them it's okay to be nervous and you want them to be nervous.
Yeah.
So go the opposite route. Dogs don't want affection when they're nervous. They want affection when they're confident. You're building up what you pet is what you get. Yes, you're building up whatever you pet. So if they're nervous, you're like, hey, you're fine, sit, good. Pet. And then firm again, they're like, okay, well, all right. Look at this dog, pretty good now.
Yeah.
So there's that understanding that begins to form. Understanding for us is huge because that's what we do in the dog training world. We're helping owners create an understanding with their dog, so dog is confident, and owners understand how to promote that confidence.
Just really understand what you're praising. What are you petting? What state of mind are you nurturing? What is your relationship between the two of you? The doodles we get, it doesn't matter how calm we are. They're like this if they see us coming at all. So it's like we'll walk up to them, pause, squat down, pause, wait till their tail settles. Then we put the leash on, or then we give them a scratch. That way we're not praising too much excitement, and they don't start to, well, they already think people are excited. That's like part of the breed genetics, I think. But that way, it really, whatever we're communicating with them, really helps them understand that they also don't associate us with just excitement. So that's important too. Bells says, show us puppies. That's rather demanding.
That's a little bit demanding. Go on our Instagram page, guys. They got like 30 puppies being trained out there.
It's
Look at our
true.
story. They're everywhere.
Oh, I got one for you. Eve
COVID
says,
shot. You're killing me.
oh, I'm sorry.
I got my COVID shot, guys. She just keeps hitting the arm.
I'm actually not that sorry because he's a guy and he's fine. Okay, what is your favorite breed of dog?
Ooh, that's a good one. I like shepherds. I mean, shepherds, golden retrievers. I like
Wait
those.
a minute. Those are in two totally different categories.
I know, but I like golden retrievers because they're super easy to train. For training, that's what I like. I like difficult dogs though, so I like shepherds. Oh,
Yeah.
shepherds then.
Yeah.
German shepherds. I mean, I have a Czech wolf Russian hound, so it's very similar.
Just a Czech wolf Russian hound.
It's a big dog. But you know, she was super hard to train in the beginning, but now she's probably one of the most loyal dogs I've ever owned in my entire life. So I like shepherds. I feel like they're a challenge in the beginning, but they create a lot of loyalty through that training process. Big bond.
I like herding dogs. Anything that tries to bite the leash, bite my ankles, bite other animals, that spins in circles and tries to herd the family. Those are my dogs. I love them. If I had to choose, I just choose Aussies because that's what my family used to breed.
She basically wants the hardest possible dog to train.
But I really love them, and I German Shepherds too. They're protection herding. But yeah, any herding dog, I'd have to say, is always my favorite. Always.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We had a question come in wanting to know if you guys are a couple.
Oh no!
I don't think Chris would be very happy with that one. Neither would Kimberly, really.
I did make a joke to my husband because my husband and I used to do this as well. He's not a dog trainer. He's just annoying and says stupid things that
It made people laugh. So it's like halfway
which reminds me of. And so anyway, no, we are not, but I definitely think we're starting to get into the groove. What is that term? Maybe it's not appropriate anymore, but isn't there that like work husband term? They don't ever say work wife because that's not appropriate, but I'm pretty sure you're getting in the work husband category. I was telling my husband because sometimes when I fight with him, I feel like I'm fighting with my husband. So
we got to find the PC term for this.
Yeah. I don't know what the new ones are. I'll have to look them up. Anything else?
That's a good question. I like that one. Was there one more here, or is it just that one?
We had a video request, but I think it went away.
Okay, all right.
Someone says, we rescued her from a dog farm. So yeah, go slow. This was one of our questions earlier about the leash. So that, just to say, it's one of our adult dogs.
Okay, gotcha.
So I have to say though, we rescued her from a dog farm. So this dog didn't have any prep work, but if anything, it needs consideration and patience, but not softness and nurturing in the way of babying. So I just want to be clear on that. So when you get dogs, feral dogs, dogs that have a bad past, hoarding situations, they don't have good genetics probably.
They don't have the same coping mechanisms as other dogs. So
or problem solving.
You said one phrase, it just eluded me, but consideration. What does she mean by that? That's basically allowing the dog to get away with something more than you normally would before then addressing it or correcting it, because you really want them to understand what you're addressing.
Well, can I jump on that?
Please.
So when he says that, what I also think is when he says let the dog get away with more, maybe this is what you're thinking, maybe not, but in our way of thinking, let me just be clear. Normally we would correct bad behavior immediately. Quickly. Enough is enough. Pay attention to me. By being considerate and letting more things go, I would do more guidance based. I wouldn't just like stand there and let something happen.
Jump.
Yeah, it's just it would be more body language and leash pressure guidance rather than something to just be like, hey, knock it off. Not that we wouldn't do that, but we would get to know the dog a bit first, make sure there's a good foundation. Try something with your dog. Go out tomorrow and ask I think it's a little dog, I could be wrong, but ask your dog to jump up on something with leash guidance. And if they don't want to do it, that's a small, tiny thing. You don't correct the dog for not wanting to jump up, but that's a small, tiny thing you can work through together. And you don't necessarily have to use food, but you're just helping the dog with guidance learn they can jump up on something that's obviously that they could jump up on. And then they accomplish it, and you've worked through that together, then do it 3, 4, 5 more times. Find little ways to build confidence.
Perfect. And we're going to end that one there.
We
do have a request to do
a quick video.
Yeah, let's do a quick face-to-face.
I'm scared.
Girl, answer.
So I guess we're
Ask your question.
We're going to go a few minutes over, guys. We want to do a little face-to-face.
Carol, who actually submitted this question.
Oh, Carol.
All right, 12 week.
The 12-week-old golden doodle doesn't like being on leash. Okay.
Carol, we're just waiting for her to answer.
So we have to wait. So we're sending out a call and we're waiting for someone to answer. I don't have any more questions though. We are done. Just kind of keep in mind while we're waiting for her to answer, just kind of keep in mind we do this every Wednesday, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. When you do your questions, it's crazy helpful if we have breed of dog and age of dog.
Yep.
And you can do them by private messages or in the comments section, or you can just type them into IG.
And all of these videos are also going to be available for replay later on. Just got to go see our IG lives.
You should go to so I just recently experienced this, and I thought it was really funny. I haven't shown you this yet, so I'm just going to tell everybody on here. So if you go to Instagram TV, that's what it is, IGTV, and you click on the thing, and you scroll and scroll, you see Bethany and Sparky, and then you see someone who might be Sparky, but looks like that maybe from a different era.
His hillbilly uncle?
Maybe from, no, I was gonna say, like Bohemian Sparky. Yeah. It's the same guy, so you should go on IG.
It's true, yeah.
Not stories.
Scroll back about a year, you'll see a different looking
TV.
Sparky, for sure.
Yeah, you can literally there's one section where you can see like us now, and then him in another video.
It's the same lovable guy, guys. I mean, it's just a little bit hairier. That's about it.
Anyway, I guess it didn't work. We weren't able to connect with you, Carol.
Hopefully we'll get you next week, though.
Yeah, really sorry about that. Same time, same place, next week.
Thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, see you guys.